This video covers how to switch on the keyboard rig at E5. A prerequisite to this is that you've got power on stage. There'll be a separate video for that. So step number one is you need to switch on the Yamaha piano with the power button right here on the left hand side. We don't use the Yamaha for sound, so the volume control can be all the way down. Once that switches on, it will just go to the grand piano 1. You may notice that there's a screen on the keyboard which will be saying no signal. So step number 2 is to switch on the Mac computer, which is in this case down here to the right hand side. You'll see a keyboard and mouse. Grab them because you'll need them later. They have a power switch on them, so if they ever don't work, just flick the switch. And you're going to find it hard to see here, but in the back of this case there's a Mac Mini just here, and on the left hand edge of it there's a power button. You simply press that and you should then see up here on the screen it will change to the Mac booting screen. Okay, this then takes you to the home screen. So using the mouse, which you would have picked up earlier, I find the best place to put it is on top of this speaker grill because it acts a bit like a mouse mat. You need to do a couple of things. First of all, up here in the top right hand corner, make sure that OneDrive is synced. So that's what contains all of the sounds that we use. Then if you go down to the bottom of the screen, just hold your mouse there, the little launch bar will appear, and click on Main Stage, which is this little yellow icon with a kind of guitar player on it. That opens up Main Stage, which is the software that drives the keyboards. It will automatically open up with whatever we had last week. So there'll be some stuff already in there. So this is Main Stage. So the first thing you're going to want to do is load the current week's songs. So if you click on Sunday Patches just there, and then right click, that'll give you the option to delete. Left click delete, and that removes everything we had last week. Then on the little cog, just up here where it's next to where it says patch list, once this finishes loading, we'll load in the current set of sounds for this week. So we're going to go load patch or set, and you're going to want to look in OneDrive, which is where all the files are synced. You'll see E5 patches, and there's a folder called Sunday Set. Then open the file Sunday Patches. So that will load all of the sounds for this particular week. And if you'll see, it will have a closed folder to start with. So if you just click on the left click on the little arrow there, that shows you all the sounds for that particular week. Finally, before you're ready to play, you need to come up here to the right hand side, click on the play button and click on the little metronome button. Okay, now back on the Yamaha piano, there are 4 sliders over here on the left hand side. The one marked zone 4 controls the overall volume. So if that's off, even though you might be playing, you won't hear anything. So that needs to be all the way up at all times. Zone 3 controls the extra section within the sounds that we'll come on to in a different video. Zone 2 controls the drone pad sound. So long as zone 4 is up and zones 3 and 2 are down, that will be absolutely fine for getting sound. The final thing you're going to want to do is to select the first patch on the screen. So you see the play and the metronome button are already lit up. I've selected that sound, and finally click on Perform. That will put it into the kind of full screen mode that we use during the service. On the Sunday Sounds branded controller that's just sat on top of the keyboard, The key buttons are these two, so next and previous will cycle through the patch list. So between songs, you hit that button next and it will go to the next sound, ready for the next song. The other things are this one on the left hand side, the rewind button, controls the click track. So you'll see at the bottom of the screen, it says click. If I press that button, it turns it off. I'm going to press that button again, it will turn it back on again. The fast forward button just next to the rewind button controls the volume of the click. So if we get to a quiet moment, you can press the fast forward button and that reduce light goes off, which means that the click is reduced in volume. Pressing it again puts it back to the original volume. We only use that during quiet moments, as I said. Everything else will just depend on the sounds that are loaded in, but you have buttons and faders that correspond to what you see on screen. And finally, if everything goes horribly wrong, there's a button there marked panic. You hit that, it will cut the sound dead, but it will also reset everything and you can then carry on playing. Some tips for the mixer box. Set the master volume relatively high. The actual point here will depend on your headphones, but you want it to be really quite loud at the top of the volume range, because once you are mixing, you want to reduce the levels of things that you don't want to hear, rather than trying to have everything turned up. So let's say you got the keyboard and synth are kind of at about half to 2/3 level, and that's loud enough in your headphones. Other things should be less, really. So you can see here the video, the click is relatively down, the ambient mic is down. Got a lot of kick and snare, but no hi-hat, only a little bit of overhead. Again, the bass is down, the acoustic guitar is down. So you're trying to mix by taking stuff away rather than just always adding, because otherwise it'll just get louder and louder and louder and you won't actually be able to hear the thing that you need to hear. So almost start off with nothing apart from yourself, and then add in things until you can hear them at a level that is strong enough for you to be able to play, but you're not listening to a CD, so you don't need to hear everything at kind of full level, because you want to focus on the most important stuff. So lead vocal, your instrument, click track, drums to keep you in time, other instruments that are doing important things, but you don't have to have them up loud, overpowering your own instrument. When you finish the service, you press the X up here to exit performance mode. Then you close main stage with a little red circle icon, top left hand corner. You can leave that as it is or click on the red button, it doesn't really matter. Then click on the Apple logo and hold down the mouse button, drag down to shut down, and then let go, and that will shut down the Mac, ready for the power to be turned off.